Good morning. How is everybody? Welcome to the Tunaverse and Hot Take Tuna Tuesday. Finally back on a Tuesday. Y'all doing good today? Y'all having a good morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are at? I am. Well, I also just woke up, but it's good to be back on Tuesday. Last week kind of sucked that Hot Take Tuna Tuesday was on a Thursday, but you know, things happen, and here we are. Morning, Pork Chop. One thing I would like to say is I was looking at some analytics when it comes to Hot Take Tuna Tuesday. A lot of you that watch the VODs afterwards aren't subscribed. There's about 92% of everybody that watches is not subscribed. You should hit that subscribe button. You keep coming back and watching it. You should hit the subscribe button. Join us in the morning when we do it live, you know? If you don't want to, it's cool. I get it. But hit the subscribe button. Good morning, stranger. How are y'all doing today? And those of you on Kick, I apologize. I need to, I guess, look at my bit rate because it keeps starting, stopping. So I'm going to look at, I think it's got to be something with my bit rate. Maybe I got it too high. So I'm going to look into that and see if I can get Kick to stop going up and down when first starting the streams. Because it seems like when I first start the streams, it goes up and down, turns on and off, and then once it actually gets going, it's fine. So I'll look into that for you guys, because I know there's a few of you that come and visit. So, Hot Take Tuna Tuesday. Was thinking long and hard last night at work how I was going to start off with this, and we got a couple of good ones. Let me make sure I got make myself small here and make sure I got Google all set up. Should be ready to go. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna wait for that to catch up, and then we are going to get going here on some Hot Take Tuna Tuesday. Come on, stream, catch up. There we go. Can't wait until I have more screens. So, got a few videos here. First one I'd like to hit is Starfield, or it was going to be Starfield, but it seems that this news keeps changing, and the news is supposedly no mounts, no ground vehicles, no fishing. Only the 10% of the worlds have life. But this news is in flux, so I'm not gonna cover it and be like, well, this is how it is. I'm not gonna do that. So I was, but I'm not going to. First, let's start with when Star Citizen devs are honest. So as you can tell, this is by Level Cap Gaming, and this is when Star Citizen devs are honest. Let's see what Level Cap has to say, and I'm sure a few of us here in chat might have differing opinions. I saw a glimpse of this a few days ago. I didn't watch the whole thing, so we'll really see what he has to say.
Citizen just used one of their latest Inside Star Citizen promotional episodes to showcase the team failing. Normally, Star Citizen's weekly YouTube content is used to showcase the game's triumphs and hype up upcoming tech, so it's interesting to see them showcase a failure. But fans have been loving it and praising them for the transparency. This game project describes itself.
Now, I'm not trying to be a douche here, but why didn't they get on the camera and claim failure with PES and claim failure with 3.19 when that first launched? You know, I get it. A ship failed. Hey, how you doing this morning? I get it. A ship failed, and that's kind of an easy one to be like, oh, oops, we failed. And once again, let's be honest. Their failure was they didn't get it out in time for Alien Week. That was the real failure. It wasn't that it failed Gray Box or Final Look or whatever they called it. It was they failed to get it out for Alien Week. That was the thing. But like I said, I would appreciate more. Look, it's great that they came out and said, "Hey, we failed," but I would appreciate it a lot more if you would come out and, like I said, at the beginning of 3.18.1 or 3.18 and say, "Hey, we failed," but they didn't. And the same thing with 3.19. They should have came out and said, "Hey, we dropped the ball on this," and not hide it behind Xeno threat like they did. Good morning, JT.
As an open development process where fans should more or less be aware of what's going on behind the scenes, but this often isn't the case, and for the most part fans are in the dark when it comes to some of the progress and failures happening behind the scenes. At the end of the day, CIG needs to keep pulling in fan funding, so to risk showing the game in a negative light could impact that. And by its own nature, there is...
I don't think so. I think, as I said, let's go back to 3.18 and 3.19 and now the Santokii or whatever, however you call it. It is, look, it's nice to say that, hey, we failed, and you do gain trust when you do that. But if you're gonna do it when you fail, you have to do it when you fail on a larger scale. I'm not saying to come out and act negative and dejected, like, oh, we failed 3.18. Come out and say, hey, we did this wrong. We did this wrong. We're going to do this better next time.
Is incentive to basically not be too transparent when it could impact the perception of the game, but perhaps they're easing up on this. The last episode of Inside Star Citizen showcased a review gate failure of the new Santokii alien fighter craft, a very cool looking ship that will better round out the alien combat ship lineup, but its unconventional design of rotating thrusters and a ball style cockpit has led to a lot of first time challenges for the devs. It was interesting to hear them describe their internal failure rates, but also how their internal review system did its job in preventing them from moving forward with a project that just wasn't in a good enough state. They also mentioned that the review failure happens fairly...
Me being a dick and hot take. Good enough state. What is a good enough state for Star Citizen? Because, man, it's been up and down this year, like really bad. It's been one of the, I've talked to people that have been backed for a long time, and this is one of the worst years they've had since, I guess it was the drought between 3.0 and 3.3 or whatever it was. This is one of the worst years from what they tell me. So, it is what it is. I'd still hate to keep going back to this. If you're going to come out and say, hey, look, we failed with this thing, you need to come out and say, hey, look, we failed with these other things as well. And future projects within Star Citizen, you need to come out and say, hey, we failed this. So it's nice that they said this, but they need to continue doing it. Indrid, what's up?
Really frequently, so it's not like this was a rare or unexpected issue, but nonetheless it was nice to see some transparency with the process. I think a large portion of Star Citizen fans are older, working professionals who can handle seeing the inner workings of a development process even when it's not a successful outcome. That said, this is a pretty light failure compared to some of the more catastrophic things that could happen. Like if their next major tech push towards server meshing hits a huge roadblock, would we also be hearing about this failure?
They will not tell us about
or would that information be kept behind closed doors? I think we can say that Star Citizen is a very open development process compared to most games, but without question that openness is cherry-picked, in part due to the fact that any major sign of weakness or failure would probably introduce a frenzy of anti-Star Citizen media, which could negatively impact the funding. I certainly don't envy the team having to dance the line of how open can we be with this process versus what's actually going to hurt the development process. Now, speaking
Indrid, from what I understand, it's supposed to be considered a medium fighter, and with a lot of, look, I'm not making fun of Star Citizen when I say this, but in this game, with the way ships move, with having sixed off and multi-directional thrusters all over ships, a lot of this comes down to getting angle and getting your nose on target faster. And once you get to a certain size of ship or a certain speed or maneuverability of ship, it turns into a lot of face tanking. So, we'll see. We'll see. To answer your question, the manganese, I don't think they really offered a solution other than, hey, we missed this date. This happened by, this thing happened and we couldn't get it out in time for Alien Week, and we're going to continue to work on it. I don't think they do. Now, me, I am a working class man. Obviously, I don't stream all the time. I'm not a full-time streamer. I work, and I work hard, and I take pride in my work. And I'm one of those people that when I mess something up, I go and I admit, hey, I broke this, or hey, I didn't do this right. But I usually ask right after that, hey, what can we do to fix it? What can we do to make it better? What can I do next time so I don't mess up? And I go from there. But that's me. I'm not saying Mang-Ease. Got you. Mang-Ease. My apologies. Yes. Thanks, JT. Hey. Is that Phoebe? Phoebe? Thank you for checking me out on Kick. I appreciate it. But, that's me. I'm not a giant corporation like CIG, and CIG is, beholden to, shareholders. And as I've said, and, people point out that I'm a jerk for saying this, but marketing, I think, is going to decide whether or not they come out and say, hey, we failed at this or we didn't fail at that, which is why I think it gets cherry picked with the Santoki Eye, because what really happened other than it missed Alien Week deadline. That's it.
Speaking of progress, there's been some more rumblings about a Squadron 42 release date announcement. Squadron 42 is the allegedly massive single-player game project that's being developed in parallel to Star Citizen's persistent universe and is currently receiving the majority of development focus. Now, these rumblings about a potential release date are spurred on by two semi-recent events. The first one being that one of the lead developers estimated a 2-year release window at a casual Bar Citizen meetup event. This event was about 8 months ago, which means that if this prediction was accurate, well, that marketing and hype should be starting to ramp up, well, pretty soon. The other event is that Squadron 42's game package has been removed from purchase on the RSI website, and it's been explained that it's going to see a price update when it comes back.
Yeah, I heard they're going to raise it to like $70.
However, it's still not back on sale after a significant period of time, which sounds like maybe there's some more preparation going on. Because, I mean, why remove something to update the price?
I hope not.
You just update the price and call it good, right? It definitely seems like other factors are in play here. Now, the yearly fan event, CitizenCon, is slated to take place towards the end.
Now, John Rice Davies, the guy that played, I'm not sure his character in Squadron 42, but he was Sala in Indiana Jones. He was Gimli in Lord of the Rings. Those are probably his most notable movies that he did in his career. He went back, I think it was about 2 or 3 months ago, and did a bunch of reshoots. So, that's there's a few things that can be pulled off of that. Either A, they're getting closer and closer to wrap up, or B, they messed something up and they got to fix it now. I don't have it up on screen. As I said, I would love to get more screens and pull it over, but there's going to be like a 1.5, 2-minute delay of me trying to find it and get it on screen for you guys. But there is an app, and I'll try to find it and link it later in the chats. It's called Shiny Tracker, I think it is. A guy made it, and it tracks everything, all Star Citizen. And there's 28 chapters in Squadron 42, and a majority of them, according to this tracker. Now, I'm not saying that this tracker is gospel. It's the Bible. It's the Ten Commandments. It's nailed down. This is 100% factual and truth. But I'd say over 50, maybe even 60% of the missions are only half done. So if we go off of that and just that, like I said, that's I'm not saying that is the hardcore truth, but if we go off of just that, then they got a long ways to go. Now, I would like to see them put out a release date, but with that being said, even if they do put out a release date, there's no guarantee that it won't get delayed another 2 years. Once again, I'm not trying to be jerk. I'm just trying to let you guys know, how many times does a video game say, hey, coming out July of, this year, and then July turns into October, turns into December, turns into March the following year, and then they finally get it out. Just saying. Let me read chat here real quick. Something smells fishy. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. True, could be significant changes to the chapters or data loss. That is also true. If you go and you watch the Diablo 2 making of, and how the game almost never didn't even make it out because they suffered catastrophic data loss, and it just so happened that a handful of guys had different sections of the game saved to their computers. Squirrel, good morning, man. Good morning. I agree, Mangies. I agree. Yeah, and Phobia. I every time. Most game titles don't release it when they say they are going to. They're usually off between 3 to 6 months.
Of October this year, which might make for a great place to showcase or announce the release date for this game. So if there's a big announcement in the works, that seems like the most opportune time to make it. Now, beyond these more ethereal subjects, the much more tangible Hull C was also showcased in the latest ISC. This ship is releasing with the upcoming 3.2 patch and will be by...
And I think the other... Okay, so I'm scared of the Hull C. I've made my points known. Like, is the in-game economy going to be able to keep up with multiple ships that can scoop up 4,600 SCU of various things at space stations and whatnot? And we'll see when that happens. Otherwise, these things are just going to be filled with trash. It's going to be scrap metal or waste or whatever. But the one thing I am excited for with the Hull C is these right here. These 32 SCU boxes, that's going to be a lot of fun to play with.
Far the most capable hauling vessel in the game, at least.
I also want to know, because me and a group, we decided to help some people that hit I think it was Stranger. They hit a C2 and they were transferring cargo. It would have been so much easier if that cargo was in 32 SCU boxes instead of 590 whatever 1 SCU boxes. So, it would have been easier. I'm just saying.
When it comes to hauling quantity. In fact, while its cargo racks are extended, it looks extremely long, possibly able to rival some of the longest flyable ships.
I think it looks
like
the best when it's folded
jump.
in.
But we'll have to wait and see what the actual final dimensions are. The ship itself looks fantastic. It's much larger and more detailed than I ever thought the whole series would be, and it features some awesome transformation visuals and even a very brief showcase of the cargo loading process. That portion of the demo did look a little bit placeholder, where the ship flies into a loading zone in space, and then cargo seems to magically appear on the outside of the ship. That said, if they need to make...
The other thing I want to point out is I think that people are going to be very upset unless they have some sort of thing in the background that we don't know about yet. If you're getting this loaded up at a space station, what's not to say that somebody isn't sitting just outside of Armistice or even inside of Armistice with a Retaliator or an Eclipse, and they just, 1 size 9, boom, that's it. I don't know if there's going to be a way to stop that or what.
some of the loading stuff placeholder for the moment just to get the ship into the game, that's absolutely fine by me.
That's very
what wasn't
true,
mentioned
Squirrel.
during the
That's
video
very
was
true.
anything about the new hauling missions,
I
which
agree,
seem
Phoebe. It looks
imperative to make
amazing.
this ship fill its role. Players were quick to point out that the current trading supplies won't even be able to fill up the volume of this ship,
See, I'm
making
not
it
the only one
somewhat
that feels that
pointless
way.
to use over a smaller vessel. It's also unclear if you'll be able to unload at a ground-based installation, as
No,
the
there's
whole
no
series
way.
has always been designed more about space freight, without planetary landings being a major consideration. However, with just about all the major trading spots in the game needing at least one end of that supply and
Boom!
demand route to be
Yep,
on a
there it is.
planet, it's hard to know if this
Splat.
ship will integrate with the current trading system. Hopefully there's an upcoming ISC that will announce new hauling missions for this ship
See how
and
much
other
longer?
hauler ships in the
He's
game.
only got a couple more
Speaking
minutes
personally,
left.
I've been waiting forever for some sort of hauling gameplay loop. We do know that the devs
There is
are
hauling,
working on
though,
this
Level.
specifically, and it's been alleged that it would be tied.
But sometimes, look, I know Level has been a backer for a while, and he's only really started playing within the last year and a half-ish. I think it's been maybe 2 years, but he always seems to focus on the combat side so much, and maybe I'm speaking out of line, but sometimes when he makes comments like that, it's like, but how often do you really play? Because he says that he wants to get into a viable hauling game loop, but there is a viable hauling game loop currently. You don't need a hull C for it. You need a larger ship than a Pisces, or you can do it with a Cuddy Black, but you're not going to start to see the profit margins that most people want to see until, I believe, Sandy Claus, which if you haven't checked him out, Sandy Claus on YouTube, he does a lot of really good trading videos. It really gets into the numbers. That's a good point, Phoebe. But anyway, back to Sandy Claus. He was saying that you don't start to see the real good profit margins until you have a Connie Taurus or larger. But it is. I'm not a hauler. I think it's boring, but I do like picking on haulers every once in a while.
Into the whole series of ships, so maybe we'll see an announcement soon.
Thanks for
I
reeling
made a
me
video
in,
a while
Phoebe.
back showing the space truck and lifestyle in Star Citizen, and while it is fun to haul things around the verse and sell them for more at different outposts, the biggest weak spot for it was just the general lack of a mission system specifically catered for that gameplay. So fingers crossed that we actually hear something soon. Now overall, patch 3.2 is beginning to fill up with some more significant content. A truly massive arena commander overhaul is in the works, new consignment missions are coming, new outpost locations, the just mentioned Hull C ship will be releasing, possibly new tractor beam stuff, and more.
We need the new
The recent
tractor beams.
3.19.1 patch just
out,
went live and has some significant improvements to the ASOP terminal response time, which is honestly a huge quality of life improvement since you need this terminal to spawn or store any ships in the game. Now if they can just give me some better options to sort my ships on the terminal and find what I need quicker, we'll be golden. What do you guys think about the upcoming Star Citizen content and the overall transparency of the project? Do you think the devs should be even more open about their development?
So I'm going to stop him right there. I'd like to pose a couple of questions to those of you in the chats. Number one, do you think Star Citizen devs are transparent enough, or do you want to see more transparency? For me, it's not about the transparency as much as I'd like to see them admit more when they have failed. I think them coming out and saying we've failed more than they do would build more confidence in the player base and from the outsiders looking in that are always just saying that all they're doing is taking your money and they're giving you crap. The other thing I'd like to pose to you, questions that I'd like to pose to you, is how are you finding 3.91's stability? Now, I've had, since 3.19 has dropped, and more specifically in the last 2 weeks, I've had some very, very long game sessions where I'm talking 6 to 8 hours, and most of it being captured on stream. I'm not getting the major issues with crash to desktop and 30Ks as I was getting in 3.19. So, and 3.81, 318.1 and 318.0, which really I couldn't even play those. But yeah, I'd like to hear you guys' input on that. I think the ship is useless because all there is in Pyro is pirate base. It's lawless. There's no dedicated protection groups to hire to protect these meaty phones. That's true, Mangies, but at the same time, if you're a pirate and the only things that you can buy in bulk is either waste or scrap, no pirate's going to want to hit this. Squirrel, number one, I just want to see them have progress and give us progress report. It's nice to know that what they intend to do. I just want to see them do it. Very nice. I understand why the tasks are kept secret, but I agree that we need more honesty with failed tasks. All right. Thangies. I'm not either. It's generally good. Okay. I've only had a couple 30Ks in 3.19.1. Your second question, it's much better, but not as good as it has been in the past. I agree wholeheartedly, Squirrel. I agree. Pagan less crash desktops for me, but micro stutters are horrible. Yes, the micro stutters, the desync is, and the crazy lag spikes have been very bad. The nice thing is we're not getting into those lag spikes, and that is causing a crash. So, yeah, 2 or 3 30K, one crash to desktop. Yeah, that's about how it's been for me lately, guys. I've really, Pagan did point out the micro stutters and the lag, the big like game stopping lag spikes. But for the most, outside of those two things, and I'll take this with Star Citizen as it is right now. It's been a lot more playable, and you're not having the game session ending 30Ks and crash desktop. So I will take that when I can. I definitely will take that when I can. Phobia. I don't have any particular issue with transparency. I don't have a major issue with crashes or anything, but those stutters are fierce. Yeah, it's been a wild one. It's been a wild one. So with that, that's level cap gaming, and when Star Citizen devs are honest, it was good. There's a couple of things I liked and a few things I didn't like, but it was good. It was overall, it was a good video. Yeah. Good conversation. Good conversation. We are going to watch, bring this back over here.
Star Citizen just used one of their latest insight.
Shush. So I'm going to bring this back to here, and we are going to check out Uncle Pork Chop. Get this going. Uncle Pork Chop. Hey, shush, 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 shush. Uncle Pork Chop frequents here very, very often. So if you haven't checked him out, make sure you check out Uncle Pork Chop. He puts together some really good videos. They're usually humor-centric. I have not watched this one because I wanted to watch it with you guys, and I wanted to, even though he's a larger channel than I am, I wanted to share it with other people that may not have seen him, and maybe they'll help spread the word on him. He's a good dude. I like Uncle Pork Chop a lot. Kind of new to SC, but have the AI bounties always tried to score ahead on Smash. You mean like headshot you immediately when they see you, or like just try to, like, if ship to ship and they try to crash into you, like ram you? Is that what you mean? Yeah, sometimes they just want to take you with them. Yeah, if you're talking about ship to ship ramming, sometimes they just do that. I don't know if it's the AI being like, hey, I'm damaged and we're going to be coming to take you out or what, but yeah, they do tend to ram occasionally. Yeah, ram. Yeah, they do occasionally tend to ram. It's kind of annoying. I got broadsided. I was working on one ship and a AI ship came in and broadsided me and killed me like that. It's good stuff. Or I shouldn't say that's good stuff. It's good stuff that the AI will react to you like that, but it's a pain in the rear when you're the one flying and they just clip you right in the side. So, Uncle Porkchop, the first ever possum piracy in Star Citizen. I really want to see what this is all about. I like this comic book style he's doing this time. Grenades are so dangerous. This comic book style is so cool. Oops.
Oh, there's somebody over there by you.
Where?
Right behind you is a ship coming in. See it? He's coming over there looting too.
I was gonna go loot that guy that I just looted.
I don't know, look behind you.
I wonder if I can get on his ship. Here,
What is glorified baby doing? They're just blah, 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 blah.
Is he moving on you?
Yeah. I'm gonna act like I'm dead.
Somebody played possum on me and got me bad the other day.
Wait, I'm gonna get out of this seat.
That was funny when Grumpy did that, JT.
He's gonna scoop me up. Pork chop, you should see what this ship.
Okay, I'm coming, I'm coming.
This guy has in his ship.
Okay, I'm coming.
He's gonna scoop me up.
Alright,
Scoop me up.
I'm coming.
What is this guy doing?
Is he doing it? He's trying to?
Yeah.
Or he's trying to kill you?
Me up. He scooped me up. He has so much fucking.
Oh wait, he's taking off with you. Alright, here I come. I'm going to his side door. Oh, he just took off.
Oh, so close. Is he gonna land? Oh, if he lands, he's in big trouble.
Fucking.
What is it?
I don't know. It doesn't say on the thing. It's like drugs or something.
There's another body right down there.
Go up into his turret. No, wait, let me get on there.
Pork chop, come on.
Get into his turret. Get into his
Put
turret.
the afterburners on your EVA. Go, 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 go.
He probably sees me coming.
Nah, he doesn't see you.
Alright, we gotta go quiet in here. I don't know if my comms are... Oh shit, he's moving.
He's moving.
Oh,
Alright, don't get out. Don't get out.
he's in
Stay
big
on.
trouble. But if he gets out and he stores the ship, he's gonna turn you into a zombie.
Close the doors. Close the doors. Pork chop.
What's this guy doing? Oh, he phased through. Oh, no, no, he did. Oh, he just got hit.
Oh shit, I think he killed me.
Is that
Oh.
you?
Yeah, I'm inside the ship.
Oh, he phased through.
I'm clipped in it somehow.
You're on the.
All
He's
right,
on top of
I'm
the
gonna
cargo.
Stay here until I. Where are
I
you?
see you.
Where are you at? How do you see me?
He's on top of the cargo, half into the inside of the ship.
Walk back this way. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go out the ship if I do that.
Oh, I can see his feet though.
Can't hear him walking around.
You know he can hear me.
He can't hear you.
He's got to be able to hear her.
Oh. Yeah, I know. Oh, there's another ship that's landing. Oh, he
yeah.
opened the door.
I'm not sure what this pilot is doing.
What was that?
A ship just blew up. It was like going through the rings. I mean, if you go through the top, Go through the top and come out the side, and then come back in.
He's got to hear this. Blue. I can't remember what blue is. What is he doing? I don't understand what the pilot is doing. They've been sitting there long enough.
Do you want me to get out because he might be talking to me?
Yeah, don't get on. Figure out something. Why did he scoop us up then?
Right?
Oh, how polite of you, Uncle Porkchop, to shut his doors.
Close
Oh,
the door.
shit.
Ah, he locked it. You're stuck. Oh, you watched that, Manganese?
Let me out!
Like, what is this guy doing? What is this guy doing? I don't get it. Other one too. Yeah, I told you not to kill me and then zombify him. Yeah, that was a good time. She crashed.
No, he can't see me from the little corner I'm sitting in from outside.
That's so mean, pork chop. But well played. But well played.
He's coming around.
Oh, fuck. What do I do?
Just be still like you're crashed to desktop.
Take your hands off the controls. Don't move. Keep the bot air in. Don't move. Keep your hands off the controls. Don't move. Don't move.
He's hitting me with the box.
He's what? He's hitting her with a box?
If he does that, he'll give himself a crime stat, and then they'll start shooting at him.
He keeps opening. I can see the door opening and closing.
Resist.
How?
I don't know. Let me get in the way in case he hits me. He gets shot at. Hold on.
I can hear. Oh yeah, he is hitting her. Box.
Oh, I can see you moving. Don't move.
Oh, he's trying to push her off.
He could blow his ship up.
If he blows me up, I mean, I ain't gonna be mad. Oh, he's doing it.
Yeah, he's got everything locked.
What do I do? Poor chap, what do I do?
They're trying to. This is good. This is good. Because the guy's doing everything.
I've never been in this predicament before.
JT, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Really. He's trying
Just
so
lay
hard to
down
get
and
her out.
sleep.
I thought he was
Go
trying
to
to kill her
sleep
with
mode.
it.
No.
Go to sleep mode.
He thinks I crashed. Oh, he hurt me.
Oh, I told you! Dude, take off your armor. Take off your armor.
Did he just die too? Oh no, he's CPA. He's CPA. He got too far off the platform. Is she still alive?
Yeah, I made it. I got blown off the deck, but...
Oh no, she's dead. He's dead.
At least go get all my stuff.
I am. I'm trying that right now.
Inventory.
Are they going to be able to take all of his stuff? I mean, this is an armistice zone. Will they be able to take it all?
Awesome.
Alright, let me go get a ship. Where are you at? Okay.
Oh, come on. I hope he's able to get all of his stuff. That was funny. He's never going to do that again. He's never going to ever do that again.
Dude, that's the first possum pirate.
That was awesome. Oh my gosh.
Is he got... What do you got, Pork Chop? What you taking? Pretty black.
I feel bad, but at the same time.
Act dead.
Don't take the steel.
That's
Come on.
legit gameplay, man.
Don't take
We
the
have to
steel.
make our own shit up.
The steel is gross. Don't take the steel. I want to know if they were able to get all the stuff. That's all I was gonna say. That's a long way up to go over that pad. It'll yank you down. What did Okay, he was able to get it. Oh, look at that! Play a little possum, you get some free loot. Nice. Glorified baby's back in her baby suit, her fresh spawn suit.
That's a good bit of load. I don't think much of the load got lost at all.
No, I think they got it all. Well, not all. I bet you they lost like somewhere between 6 to 10 boxes. That cracks me up.
And your undersuit is orange?
Yeah.
Alright, there's that. I think you had FS9.
I did. Oh, I'm dying.
Oh, you changed your outfit in space? Oh, shit.
What's up, guys? I'm Salty Mike, and this is
That was a very fast ending to that one. Let me get back to that. So that was Uncle Pork Chop and playing possum, first ever playing possum for piracy. That was really good. That was really good. It took that's a lot of patience and a little bit of ingenuity to pull that one off. That was really good. That was really good. Pork Chop, thank you for that. Like I said, if you haven't visited him, check out Uncle Pork Chop on YouTube. Good guy, good content, but more importantly, good guy. He's a good guy. I like Pork Chop. So let's check out another. This one's gonna be the latest Inside Star Citizen. It's a bit longer video than what we've done so far. And let's see what they have to say. So this is Inside Star Citizen. This is the one that came out this past Thursday. Cognoscilable? Man, English, tough. This looks like it's going to be about missions. So, Star Citizen and Inside Star Citizen. No, yeah. Yeah, Inside Star Citizen.
Every time we talk to the folks at the Mission Feature
I like
team,
that shirt.
they've always got a number of interesting irons in the fire. And as they pursue work on the upcoming Alpha 320 and beyond, now is no different.
Are you guys excited for 320? Are you guys excited for 320? I'm excited for it. I just hope we don't get another wipe with it. That's what I'm really hoping not, but I think it's coming. But I'm excited for 320, even if there is a wipe.
So let's check in with them and get some updates on a few of the new features.
Oh, Evocati invitations went out yesterday or the day before. So Evocati 320 invitations went out. So, you know, if you are invited to Evocati, you know, keep an eye out in your mailbox, your email box for that. I'm not, But it would be cool if eventually one day I got to be Evocati.
They're working on, including one improvement to the law system that's a long time coming.
Paint stripper.
We've released the salvage contracts already, and you buy the contract from a contract broker, and it's just a transaction. You buy the rights to salvage, and you can just salvage at your own leisure. There's no risk. So we wanted to add a bit more variety.
Oh, there's the ones
legal
with
ones.
risk.
There's a timer with enemies, but once you get rid of them, like, that's it. So we added the cover-up missions.
It's an unlawful mission.
Injured,
and the
I'm also
idea
excited
is
for
that
AC and 320.
Ninetales have committed a crime and want you to cover their tracks.
We know security is going to investigate the crime scene, so you're being hired to scrap all the identifiable markings and paint, and you have a certain time limit.
It's the first mission really to have fail timer. So if you don't take the skin off of this ship in time, the police will turn up, instantly clock it and say, you know, this is Ninetales and you'll have failed your job.
You fail the mission, you don't get paid, you have nothing to show for it. However, if you do successfully manage to completely wipe the ship clean, then you get paid because you rendered them service, which is also going to tie in with reputation, which the current contracts don't
It's all good on Pork
yet.
Chop. We had a
If
good
you
time
do
with
want
it.
to get greedy, you can still get greedy. You can still start taking parts off. That isn't part of the mission. You can still go aboard, and there's probably going to be, you know, really valuable things aboard.
What I like about
Okay.
this mission is that it's a bit of a precursor to how we want to start evolving the salvage missions as we go. Currently, salvage missions don't have reputation tied into them. You just buy the contract and you're done. But this is going to start our work.
Do you guys think that as of late, salvage has been getting a lot more love than any of the other game loops or professions within Star Citizen? To me, it feels like it's getting all the love right now. You know, mining did get a big overhaul, but it seems like every other week it's salvage, 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 salvage. I'd like to see some work done on bounty hunting. Maybe there is. I don't keep up with the roadmap and everything as much as I should, but I'd like to see some work being done on other professions other than just salvage and mining. Now, I don't think they're going to be touching mining again for quite some time, but as I said, to me, it just feels like it's always salvage. As I said, I could be wrong. I'm not up to date on the roadmap. I'm not up to date on all the dev tracker stuff, but it does seem very salvage heavy as of late.
Towards having more reputation scopes, you're actually going to have rewards coming in with finishing these missions. There's actually going to be a reason for doing these in the long run.
One of the things we'd
50K.
noticed
It's not
is
bad.
that even though they're salvage missions, now that you can take cargo off and weapons off, people are actually leaving the skin. They weren't using the salvage beams as we imagined they would.
But that's what salvage is, though. You're taking the useful parts of the ship and moving on. The skin isn't useful. The RMC isn't useful. The guns and the cargo is useful. And in a limited economy that you've created for us, that's the only thing we want it for, is to either put on our ships or sell it because it was worth a lot more money. It was worth more money than skinning the whole ship. So, but to me, that is salvage. And I think it's a little bit crazy that the guns were nerfed into the ground so hard as far as what you can get for them when you sell them. But, you know, what do I know? I'm not a game dev. But just it kind of sucks that you find something useful on a ship that either you can use on your own or you can sell, and they're like, nah, we want you to take the paint off the ship. I don't know. I disagree with it, but I'm not the game developer.
So it's been nice that we can actually make that part of the mission. We can make the feature the mission critical aspect.
Hand salvage, from what I'm told, is not worth it, Indrid. That's what I've been told. I don't, you know, if somebody here in chat or somebody watching can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, it is not worth it. Ooh, yes, this is what I want to see.
With Siege of Orison, we built these new Crusader platforms. You've definitely seen Solanke platform, Brushwood, Heartmoor, and building those, we essentially got all of the building blocks required to expand Crusader
Can you guys just here's my complaint about it. That looks good. I like fighting on these platforms, but here's what I want to see. Can we stop? Can we either build the assets thicker, air quotes, or make them bulletproof? Because I'm really getting sick and tired of having the AI shoot me through multiple walls. I don't even know they're there. Like they're in a one of the spawn closet elevators, and they just shoot straight through the side of the elevator, through like this pillar, through some chairs and another wall, and hit me right in the head, and I'm dead. That I would like to see changed. It's the dupers, man. I saw it happen on No Man's Sky back in the day. Duping brings nerfs and wipes. The problem is, Mangies, is that as long as this game is in an alpha and it keeps going down the path that they're going, there's going to be dupes, there's going to be exploits with everything. From my understanding is that dupes have gone back for a couple of years now, and some of the dupes have also gone back a couple of years now. They haven't gotten rid of them. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that. But I have a feeling that as long as this game is in alpha and eventually in beta, a lot of the dupes and exploits as far as making money are not going to go away. I think if there was a better economy other than just make fake spacebucks and use those fake spacebucks to buy ships, there was player-to-player trading, and there was actually value to some of the items within the game, you would see less of that. But that's just my opinion. I really don't know if that would help. I think it would, but I don't know if it would help. Okay, we're dropping the A2 bomb. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. There's some fun ways to do it, to handle it.
Even further.
We made Inspiration Park, which is a whole collection of 4 platforms and a whole bunch of buildings. Then we started doing platform infiltration missions on them. The problem with that is that every time a mission location is used, it can't be used by another mission at that point. It's kind of reserved. So if 2 people do that, that's already 6 buildings out of the rotation, which limits a lot of the buildings. So what we decided is to have several more of these platform parks.
Here's my thing. I'd like to see the platforms brought in closer. I'm not saying close enough that you can shoot off of one platform to the other, but close enough where I don't have to take a 2.5-minute tram ride from one platform to the next platform. Just look at how far that is. You can't see where I'm pointing on the screen, but look at how far those 2 platforms are in the background. It's a 2-minute, 3-minute tram ride. I could be exaggerating a little. Maybe it's like 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, but you have to take 1.5 minutes to 2-minute tram ride between all of the platforms when Siege of Orison's going on. It gets really annoying really fast. The other thing I would like to see changed is all these platforms generally look the same. The layouts are different and the buildings are slightly different. But when are we going to get some like industrial stuff on some of these? Like we've seen over by where, what is it? Counting Cousin Crows over on the Providence platform, how industrial that area looks. We need some industrial areas to do some of these gunfights in on these other platforms. I think that would be cool. I'm going to have to check that out. Squirrel. I'm going to really have to check that out. But I would like to see different variations to these platforms. That's all I'm saying.
We really just wanted one location that would be for Siege. We intended to copy and paste those all over the place.
Don't copy and
new
paste,
formations. And that would mean that the Siege Islands would just be for Siege, so that the event and the missions don't have to share the same location. We knew we could then like take those islands, reconfigure them, and then just like place them all over Crusader.
Using multiple locations around Crusader spreads players out more, which helps performance. And we kind
So
of...
if I'm hearing this correctly, it sounds like they're going to be moving platforms all over the entire planet of Crusader, so they'll be all over the place. If that's true, then, you know, Crusader's a gas giant. maybe there should be some areas where you could take a prospector or something like that and be able to mine different gases. Or, you know, God forbid I give CIG any ideas. Come out with another JPEG that you can pre-order and pledge for, and then use that to suck up gases and turn that into a sellable and refinable material. Lord help me. Still learning Orison made it my home city in 319.1 for the bounties and holy spacebucks. Yeah, Crusader is a fantastic area for running the spaceborne bounties because the moons have little to no atmosphere, so it's not slowing you down going from place to place to get these bounties. You generally have you can generally get in and out quicker. And then one of my favorite things to do in combination with bounties is the service beacons. Man, money right there. Money right there. But yeah, if they're spreading these out all over Orison, we should get industrial platforms. We should get habitation platforms. We should get the commercial platforms like we kind of already have. But then areas to like mine or get some sort of extractable for selling. That's my opinion. I think we should get that. Every other planet has it. You know, even on Hurston, you can go down and mine. You know, you don't just have to do the bunkers and the bounties that spawn in the air over Hurston. You can, you know, do other things. Don't drink the tuna juice.
I wanted to.
It's like the Kool-Aid here.
Use the planet itself more as well.
The intent was to run Siege for 319, but unfortunately we weren't able to hit that. We ended up in a very awkward position where we had disabled the ability to have the current missions that went out on those islands in 318 available in 319, and we also didn't have the other islands placed. So we just had to turn those missions off completely until we get these new floating islands. So we made the decision to add more islands all around Crusader. It allowed us more freedom, like we can tell different stories.
Interesting. Okay, so that sounds really cool, and I'm glad, you know, maybe that's them admitting another failure again. You know, they weren't able to get it out in time, so instead of running Siege of Orison, instead of instead of running Siege of Orison and instead of running or giving us a half-finished platforms across Crusader, they just said, nope, we're not doing it, pulling it, we're going to add them, we're going to put them in 320. So that sounds cool, and I'm actually kind of excited for that. As I said, my little caveat to that is give us some industrial platforms, give us maybe a way to mine gas or collect gas or whatever you would call it, and be able to refine it and sell it. But you know, it'd be pretty cool. Let me catch up on chat here real quick. Heavy fighters are going to be meta for the dogfighting. Yeah, probably. Good morning, Immersed. How you doing? Why do we call it dogfighting when dogs can't fly? You know what? That's a good question, and I don't know. I don't know. Before we move on, guys, hit that like button, hit that sub button, and if you're on Kick, hit that follow button. I'd appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
The new consignment mission involves the
Enjoy your lunch,
that you've seen at Jumptown and in Korea.
The consignment missions are made by Max.
You'll be tasked with going to the UGF to retrieve a mission-critical item.
There's several NPCs walking.
Now this I'm excited for. The Space Station Korea, the consignment mission, like the mission there, it's cool, but it takes a large group to do it, and it takes a large amount of time because the enemies constantly respawn. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, for me, and you know, you guys all know I game with Marcus a lot and with Canop a lot and Star-Lord a lot, but getting us all on at the same time, at the same hour, ready to do the same thing is kind of difficult. So I would like to see this done. I really can't wait to do these, like go down here, get these mission criticals and get those done.
Walking around, either security guards or other NPCs, and several of them will be carrying data pads with a code on them.
By taking the tablets on them, players can see these codes. You will have to sift through multiple codes to find that item.
Think of it as an Amazon locker where you have a code for your delivery. So you have to look on the tablet, which code hold which set of items. You go to a terminal, enter the code, and then it starts spitting out these objects one by one.
You can type that code in and like stop it halfway through and then type the code in again and get the other half of the consignment out. The consignments can be found in various places. Like there's a lawful mission where you go and the security occupants of a UGF have been killed by the Ninetales. So there's all these corpses around and you have to go searching through them while fighting off the Ninetales to find these data pads. And, you know, scanning through the data pad and you finding whether it's got the mission critical items that you're looking for, or maybe just some really valuable items,
some
for things like
variation
Had
to the
and Night
bunkers
and Dollarvy and things like that you usually only find in.
You are correct, Marcus, but and you know, maybe it's just low hanging fruit, and because we're so used to, how do I word this correctly? We're so used to just the lowest form of content that any content is exciting. I find this exciting. It's a different, because I run a lot of bunkers. Everybody, if you watch here, I run a lot of bunkers. So it's kind of interesting that we get some new missions other than the same. I think it's 4 that we have. You know, you get the mercenary ones: assist in defending site, guard against the threat, guard against the hostiles, guard against the extreme hostiles, or whatever they call it. Evict the illegal occupants and the drugs. Those are the only 4 that we get. You know, this will be more interesting. But Marcus, at the same time, with what we do, this means people are going to be down in the bunkers for longer periods of time. It's not going to be a simple go smash, 10 guards, turn around and run out. People will be in these bunkers searching and looking for a long time. So that gives more target opportunities.
Like one-handed carryballs.
At least I hope so.
We're adding into boxes. So that's a nice little bonus there you'll be able to find. The greedier you are, or the longer you take to get this mission done, the mission grows more and more difficult.
We built a new system, a new module, which we're calling the anti-up system. It allows us to spawn increasingly difficult waves of AI that will approach and attack the player while they're at a location.
The AI coming out of it grow more difficult, like through light, heavy, medium armors. The unlawful version of this, you're actually acting as the Ninetales, say. So you go into a UGF that's run by securities, and you have to kill the bosses that come out and get the data pad off of those.
I do a lot of bunker missions, so I'm excited to get some more variety in them. Unfortunately, I play more on the lawful side of things, so if it's like a bunker mission where I have to kill.
Now, my only thing against this is, it doesn't matter how many AIs you add or increase the difficulty of them. The AIs are still only going to react as well as the servers allow them to react. So it's kind of like, cool, a new thing. Shit, they're beholden to the servers and the shitty servers that we currently have. So it's going to be a cool new mission, but at the same time, they're going to be retards with rifles. Yeah, exactly, Phoebe. Yeah, and bullet sponges. I saw the heavy lieutenant, and they're all they do is bullet sponge. I'd like to see something different than that, but I don't think we're going to get that for a while. They keep displaying to us how the AI thinks and reacts and whatnot in their little breakdown videos, but I've never seen AI do things like that unless you know, I was on a low pop server with, you know, a low tick rate and, you know, all the other golden things going on. It just doesn't happen very often.
Kill like security guards, I'll be less inclined to do it. But if it's shoot 9 tails and steal their stuff, then yeah, I'm all for it.
So the reputation ladder is going to be tied to these missions. A lot of players care about the reputation ladder themselves in completing that process, but as an extra incentive to climb it, they will unlock the harder tiers of this mission. And in the process of doing so, there will be more data pads that can drop across the mission. It will be more difficult to stay at the location the more data pads you want to retrieve, and you can sift your way through the mission critical items and the extra items of the things you want, load them up.
Here's my thing though, with PES and the amount of guys I just saw on screen, the bodies might make this mission area get really laggy and or to the point where collision stops working and you might fall through the planet. But that's just my speculation.
Get them out of the UGF onto your ship and away. So it's going to be all about how much players want to go for the extra bonus loot, whether it's worth the risk of staying if they are low on ammo or are being overwhelmed, or if they have enough friends to bring to them to the location, which versions of the mission that they do. So I think it's going to be really interesting, and it gives players the opportunity to do missions at their own pace and, you know, remain at the location as long as possible as the risk increases.
Since the inception of the loss system, we've had the issue where if someone trespassed on your ship, you would first be given away by the chat system saying that you joined the ship.
Gives your position away straight away. I've always disliked that notification, and it pops up whenever you enter any ship, not just your own. We had that popping up all the time when you went aboard the Javelin, say, in the Fleet Week.
Good morning,
so
Pops.
I'm happy to say that we're changing that now, so that you'll only see that notification if you are a member of a party of the owner whose ship you're going aboard.
With the new implementation of the trespass system, the chat will no longer give you away, but it's not all benefits for the trespasser, because now the pilot can defend their ship without legal repercussions, which makes the trespasser at risk at all times.
We've basically made the interior of ships a trespass area for anyone who hasn't been invited aboard, and by invited we mean in a party with the owner of a ship. So imagine there are 2 players, they're in a party together, and then there's a third, like, trying to sneak aboard. The owner obviously enters a ship as normal, doesn't see anything. The party member, same, steps aboard, doesn't see anything. This third player trying to sneak aboard will see a private property warning and then be trespassing. But, you know, you step off, a few seconds later, that's fine. No one's allowed to shoot you anymore. You know, could have been a mistake. But if you stay aboard, you're just lawfully be allowed to be attacked by any owner of that ship or their party.
Does this mean even in Armistice Zone?
With you having the trespass settings for you and your party on a ship now, it just adds a little bit more of a risk for people who are trying to potentially grief or simply play through that game.
God damn it, it's not griefing, it's piracy, it's stealing, you've encouraged it. Stop using that freaking word. I hate it. I'm sorry, but I hate it. You have laid out in TOS what griefing is. Griefing is not stealing somebody's ship. Ugh.
Play loop, and they will know that they're trespassing and feel that extra danger when they board somebody else's ship as they are in a monitored area.
We're really excited to give you guys this. It's been a long time coming, we know, but it was just not as simple as the...
I really hope that this unlocks guns in Armistice Zone. So if somebody, like, you know, you're at Everest or, you know, Port Alisar or wherever you're at, and somebody sneaks onto your ship and, you know, you get that trespass notification, even though you're in Armistice Zone, I really hope you get to pull your weapon. Now, does that mean that the bad guy gets to pull his weapon as well, and then you can have a proper gunfight? Or is it just the owner of the ship gets to have his gun out in Armistice Zone and you can kill the griefer on your ship? I want to know how this works out. Maybe I missed it, or maybe they're going to get to it.
Trespassing around areas, which was just a simple action area. This has so many edge cases, as you can imagine. You can actually nest trespassing, so you can have someone else's ship aboard your ship, and you can be in a trespass area, and we have to figure out like which trespass trumps the other trespassers. We also have to build in precautions. So say you're lured aboard a ship, you're invited to a party, and then they kick you from the party. You'll still be allowed to be aboard that ship until you leave. It's just that you won't be allowed to defend that ship lawfully anymore. Also, if you hurt anyone aboard that ship, you will instantly then be trespassing as well, and they'll be able to shoot you back lawfully. It's taken a lot more work than even we originally thought it would, but it's just going to be a real game changer.
It finally gives ship owners the right to defend themselves on their ships and fight back against the pesky pirates we have out there.
You're probably right, Simi. You're probably right.
One of the things farther ahead that we're working on is barge heist. It's basically taking what we know to be popular and fun in this game, so something like Jump Town, but we're making it have a finite resource and a much more interesting location.
What we're doing is allowing players to buy in information similar to how some of the salvage contracts work. And from there, they get the information about where this cargo barge is, owned by a Crusader, and happens to be just in the middle of this heist situation where the Ninetales are taking it over and they're trying to take all this stuff from Crusader.
It's the barge that we use in Siege of Horizon, heavily modified, so there'll be lots of entrances and exits. What's great about using the barge is that we can put it anywhere on Crusader, you know, far away from the landing zones and anything that, you know, may cause performance to dip. So there should be no performance impacts.
Ooh, oh my goodness. You guys heard that? We're going to put this far away from other things so we don't get performance issues. Ooh, they're thinking about it. I know it sounds like an ass hat thing to say, but they're actually going, hey, we got crappy servers. We're going to do what we can to make sure that we don't get performance dips. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, CIG. Thank you.
We've placed a terminal, a cargo terminal, inside of the container interior of the barge. And when players find this terminal, they can turn it on to open various containers using different kinds of ID codes found in the environment.
Agree, Pork Chop.
Basically, you...
So... This may be a hot take, it may not be. If this game... If this game wants to succeed where No Man's Sky doesn't, where Elite Dangerous is basically nobody plays it anymore, and be better than Starfield, you have to have PvP. The space dads, the space truckers, the Care Bears, the anti-griefers, they cannot take over this game and create a safe place verse. The entire verse can't be safe. There has to be PvP. There has to have it. Otherwise, there's no reason to play the game. And if there's no reason to play the game, then the game dies. Or in this case, the funding dries up and the game goes away before it even comes out. PvP is integral to this game's success. And Marcus and Porkchop just stated that they're spreading the PvP too far apart. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see more PvP accentuated things in this game other than just, you know, what is it? The Ninetales Blockade, Jump Town. There needs to be more PvP because, you know, you look. I always hear, especially on industrialist YouTube channels or Twitch or Kick or, you know, whatever, them always talking about pirates. Oh, pirates. But then you ask them, you actually ask them, when was the last time you were pirated? Or the YouTube channel owner, when was the last time you were pirated? And most of the time I hear, I've been pirated twice in the last 2 years. I hear other guys, oh, I've been pirated 5 times since 3.18 has dropped. I've been pirated 4 times in this entire year. So from July of last year to June of this year, I've been pirated 4 times. If you're only getting pirated 4 or 5 times in a year, or 4 or 5 times in a 4-month period, the pirates aren't the boogeymen that you are making them out to be. See, Simmy and Uncle Porkchop are pointing out that there's rumors of a 200 player pop servers. That would be amazing. That would be great. I think that would force more PvP. More people would run into each other. And so right now on these 50 to 120 person servers that we get right now, I once advocated for escorts, but after doing some mining and hauling around my refined goods and talking to other cargo runners and then trying to do actual piracy, it's a lot harder than you think to just randomly pick out a ship and get them, snag them in your quantum snare and all of that other stuff. It's low percentage. So you know, it's very active in the way you do it. And like I said, I think 200 player pops would be amazing. Marcus does point out a legitimate issue behind that. The 200 player pop servers might rip the frame rates to shreds. Let me catch up on a couple more things. I hope 200 players happens. Not trusted your servers though. Yep, piracy will become more frequent when the servers get larger, and the people who bury their heads in the sands are going to have a rude awakening. I agree with that, Squirrel Lord. This is my experience too. Piracy isn't a problem. Yeah, I don't see piracy as an issue, especially with as many guides that are out there for, like, look, if you're a space trucker and you watch the piracy guides, you have a leg up on those pirates. You know where they're going to be sitting. You know what they're going to be doing. You can zigzag your route a little bit on your way to drop off your refined materials, or to go and get your materials refined, or buy your next load to go sell somewhere else. There's many different ways to get away from pirates, or go around pirates if you're really that worried about it. Or you can hire escorts. I just don't see it with 50 to 100 player count servers really needing the escorts if you know how to take different routes. But anyways, I digress. Let's let this gentleman with the shiny head talk.
To unlock several cargo containers belonging to different companies, and different companies have different items in there.
So hopefully players will learn which containers might contain what types of materials based on the brands, right? Crusader Industries is transporting completely different types of loot.
Here's the thing, Mangies. If you're buying an $800 ship, more than likely that's a 6 to 20 person cruise ship. Eventually, you buying an $800 ship and not having 8 to 12 people running that ship, it's going to be near impossible for you to actually run that ship. So if you get pirated, you kind of deserve it. There will be eventually, they've talked about it, and I'm one of those guys that likes to talk about Star Citizen that is, and not Star Citizen that will be. But there will eventually be, you know, low, mid, and high security areas, just like in Eve. And right now, the Stanton system is technically a mid security system. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And I agree with you, Mangies, but at the same time, like, it has to happen. And you also got to understand too that there's a lot of people that they don't want to pirate. So you have so already in Star Citizen, you have a small population of people that like the PvP, And within that PvP population, you have an even smaller population that actually wants to go out and pirate. So it's still never going to get as high. Like space truckers and the miners and all the industrial players, they're always, it's just like in nature, where the herbivores or omnivores have a 90% population density population versus the predators and whatnot. So it's a prey predator thing. You got 90% are prey, 10% are predator. That's about really where it's at. Hold on a second. PvE types. I next to never run into any piracy, even in places where I absolutely should. True, any potential pirate is normally tied up in PvP or something like that anyway. Didn't know about security statuses. It's kind of the point I was making. Piracy appears to me, but it results in lacking PvP rather than deliberate interest in piracy. Yeah, I agree. Catch up, stranger. Catch up. I've been playing for a few months and I've only seen one instance of piracy in person. Yeah, it's very rare.
Then maybe say ArcCorp is.
The cargo containers open all in different rooms around that location. You're fighting
This
over
mission
every
does
single
look
box,
cool.
trying to hold down like a room. There's no way you can hold down the entire thing unless you hold all the entrances. The location is so like so much of a maze. You'll have people stumbling in
You're
and
all good,
out
stranger.
of it, and lots of people wondering, oh, is this person here to steal a box, or is he just trying to get through to the next room?
What we really wanted to achieve with this is give the players complete freedom of which side to take. You don't take a contract from Crusader asking for help, or from Ninetales wanting you to help them to take something.
In future, when we have reputation-based hostility and you can make friends with these guys, they will be your cover. So I can see plenty of exciting PvP action that's going to come from this mission.
Right.
So that's a brief look
But
at some
stranger,
of the
you're in
things
the
the
small
mission team has
population.
been working on recently. We can't wait to get in your hands, especially
And I know what you
the
do.
ship trespass system. That's going
And
to
I
change the
encourage
game
it.
completely. And yeah, I'm really excited about Barge Heist. So thanks for watching.
Well, that was cool.
Of course, as always, you're going to want to check out the public
So-
roadmap at the robertsspaceindustries.com website for details on when each aspect of their continuing work gets scheduled for a specific release. And as for what we learned this week, well, we learned that more platforms means more opportunities for adventure across the gaseous surface of the planet Crusader. That salvage gameplay can be utilized in interesting and creative ways to create new mission types. And that whenever that trespass system comes
Stranger
online,
knows,
a new
Obi.
day
Stranger
for
knows.
shipboarding PvP arrives with it. Yeah, it's one we've all been waiting for. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for exploring the process of game development with us, and we'll see you all here next week.
Yeah, if you don't cancel it. So that was Star Citizen, Inside Star Citizen. Good conversation points. I'm excited for a couple of the things that they're talking about. The rest is kind of the trespassing thing did sound really interesting. I want to see how well that actually works once it goes live, because there could be a lot of different issues with that. As we all know, it's Star Citizen does Star Citizen thingies. I loaded up my ship. I made 51K. If you want me to send you 51K, stranger, I'll send you the 51K. Hurry up. Servers poo. Okay. Your A1 Spirit, Marcus, I bet you the A1 is gonna come out IAE. I might try to pick up a Warlock during IAE just to try piracy. The Warlock is all right. Some say the Cuddy Black or the Cuddy Blue is better. I predict disaster. I think so too. I think the trespassing system is gonna go through some growing pains, to say the least. I'd like to see it be rolled out and not be quite so bad, but things happen. It's Star Citizen. you know. But I was excited about a few of those few things in there. Let me check the time. Well, probably gonna cut it here. I don't want to start another video and have it go for 40 minutes because I got to do lunch and get a few more things done before I got to get ready for work. They have pretty much zero explanation on how it was going to work, all while talking about how much more difficult than they had expected. Yeah, I think they're still working on it. And they're not going to discuss all the ins and outs with it yet. But I really can't wait to see what they have, not what they have planned, but how it's actually going to work in the wild. Because as we all know, what they plan and then what the players do with it are two totally different things. There is two totally different things, which is why, you know, if you head on over to Marcus Wynn's channel, he's in the YouTube chat. He's also on Kick. Marcus Wynn has talked at length about Thurgood. How you doing? He's talked at length about how master modes within a vacuum that they're playing in is a really good idea in theory, but once you hand it over to the players and the players do what players do, that's when you're gonna find the holes and the issues and everything else that goes along with you know, developing this for a single player game and then porting it over to a multiplayer game. So we'll see what happens. You know, players, you know, I've heard the argument too that, oh well, CIG should just develop AI to do stress testing and you know, use the AI to increase player pops during Evocati and PTUs wave 1 and 2 and 3, and we can really stress the servers and get them to do things that players can do. Well, there's a couple of issues with that. One, AI has to be trained. You just don't turn over AI into a program and it does what it does. The other thing is AIs are not human, right? You can train AI to do specific tasks within the game, you know, go here, do this, go back to here, do that. But you're not going to be able to train that AI to do like what Uncle Porkchop and Glorified Baby did, where they spoke to each other. You play possum. I'm going to jump onto the ship. Okay, now he's half phased in, half phased out of the ship. You know, finding those bugs, you know, and then basically allowing him to hit her with the box to cause damage and the ship starts getting fired at. You know, Canop is not in here. Canop will find every weak spot within a ship and rub his body on it and phase through it like it's supposed to be a secret door there. It's crazy what players will do. You know, you get players doing the duping and the exploits and you know, do you really think an AI would be able to figure out, hey, I can put a Nova tank on top of a Carrack, or I can put a Nova tank on top of an 890 jump and it stays there, and we can use it as a mobile platform or a ballista and put it on either of those two and use it as a mobile missile platform, or better yet, do what I've seen done a few times where people have used their Carracks and their 890 jumps to put ballistas and tanks on the arms of like Evers Harbor and things like that. So as soon as you start approaching the station, you get shot at by a ballista or you get shot at by a tank and you didn't even know it was there. You know, AI doesn't do stuff like that. Only humans do stuff like that. So that's my human AI rant. Before I go, since we were just talking about Evocati and PTU, if you guys didn't hear at the beginning of the video, Evocati invites did go out to those that are involved with Evocati. So 320 is going to be going into Evocati here soon, I guess. I'm still thinking that hold on a second, guys. Oi! Calm down. They're all that work. Relax. Anyways, PTU, Evocati. I still think, even though it's going into Evocati right now, I still don't see it coming out until probably August or September. Yeah, master modes with missiles, they're going to have to decrease the missile speed a lot, like a lot. Because if you're at SCM speeds or combat speeds, and you're trapped between, you know, depending on the ship. I know the Vanguard series is at like 194 is their top SCM. Gladiuses are like 270, somewhere between 272 and 275. Oh, then I guess go do that. Mom didn't send me a text. Oh, yes, she did. Sorry, the wife is texting me. What was I saying? Oh, missiles. Yeah, because if you're stuck between that 194 to 275, I'm sure the interceptors go a little bit faster. If you're stuck in between that zone and missiles are flying at you at, I think the fastest missile speed is the Pioneer size 1s, and they fly at just under 2,000 meters a second. You're never going to be able to outmaneuver that or outflare it in time, especially if they're firing at. So if they fire, I think the minimum range is like 2,500 meters. If they fire that at 2,600 meters or less, your reaction time is going to have to be like on point if that's flying at you that fast. Yes, exactly, Marcus. Yeah, they will have to be able to switch modes to use flares, which, yeah, and still with 10-second recharge, shield recharge, you're not going to get your shields up fast enough to negate that missile. But then again, at that point, I'm not trying to say we will or we won't, but at that point, maybe we have armor, maybe we don't have armor. I don't know, but it'd be interesting. Guys, I gotta go. I got some things popping off at home, and I will. Sorry for the very quick getting off, but I will catch you on the next stream. Thank you so much for joining me here on Hot Take Tuna Tuesday. Not too many hot takes, but it was a really good conversation. We'll be doing it again next Tuesday. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that follow button on Kick. I will see you next time. So long, and thanks for all the fish. You guys all have a great day.